We have to try to speak loud and be a little bit more quiet. So I would like to welcome you all to this breakout session. My name is Angelica. I work for UNDP and Small Grants Program. We are actually working with the youth from the bottom up and supporting them in doing initiatives in their communities, and I will speak about that. And I would like to present also my colleagues, Miroslav here, who is working for the Association for the Advancement of Innovative Approaches to Global Challenges, and he will share their very interesting ideas on the global framework for youth participation, which I find is something very new and interesting. And we have Timothy here who represents YOUNGO. And this session is organized by United Nations Joint Framework Initiative, so Children, Youth and Climate Change, and also which is supported by UNFCCC and our colleague Adriana, who is sort of watching us from afar. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to come, but I find also that this initiative is supporting many new interesting events on youth engagement in global forums, including COP21, COP20, and we can talk about it. That's, on one hand, it's of course PR, but it showcases the real work that youth is doing, and in the form of video and social media. And so I think it's very important and interesting. And I hope this session also we'll have some kind of a brainstorming. The aim of this session to see how truly youth can be engaged in climate change work, because climate change is one of the few problems specifically relevant to the youth, because it's such a long-term problem that young people and even our children will be dealing with this problem long after we leave all this in this mess. So I think this session would be very interesting. I find also our work with youth is one of the most dynamic and interesting parts of our work. So I'm really looking forward to exchanging opinions. And thank you very much for coming. Now I would like to present Miroslav. Maybe he'll say a few words and we'll show you a video. Hopefully we can see it.
Thank you very much, Angelica. Welcome everybody also on behalf of myself and my organization, IAAI GloCha. Welcome also to all the virtual participants. Austin is so kind in helping us with the web streaming over YouTube Live. And it's a pity we don't have here now the facilities for PowerPoint presentation, and because on our agenda is now a video of the UNFCCC Action for Climate Empowerment program, which is also handling the youth engagement activities, Adriana Valenzuela. I have the video on my computer and I will show it to you. It will be difficult to see, but just that you have an impression about the type of video reporting there is on the internet from the UNFCCC program about youth engagement, and so that after this event you can also yourself go on YouTube. Climate Conference is the video channel, and there is a documentation about Young and Future Generations Day that Adriana asked us to present here. So I hope that you just get an impression of how it looked like the youth and children engagement at COP21 World Climate Conference in December last year.
financial imperative. There is a political imperative. And finally, there is a generational imperative here. And from your point of view, these three are not separate chapters. They do come together, and they come together now. Thank you for this very nice opening of Youth Day. I know we're going to be having many other activities today that I very much look forward to. Okay, your presence at the COP is important to remind us all, but it's also what you're doing at home, because that is where the rubber hits the ground. That is where you can really make a true difference. So thank you for both.
Children are the future, and it's for them and for their children that we are here and that we work 24 hours a day to try and secure an ambitious climate agreement here in Paris. And we are writing history.
So many communities are suffering. So many people are suffering. So many climate refugees around the planet that are seeing the worst of the effects, and it's only going to continue from there unless action is taken today. And now more than ever, we have the opportunity to take action. Because now is the time that our generation stands up to be leaders today. Let's create the right partnerships. Let's build the correct future that we want to pass on to, that we're proud of passing on to future generations. Thank you.
This is not just a COP, this is the COP of your generation.
Just a few words to say how much France is proud to receive COP21. And to salute Cristina Figueres, who is making a fantastic work, a huge work, to make from this COP21 a real success.
So we want to show you how our young people going to be if we continue in the same path that we are right now. Was that dead? Yeah.
Okay, now I hope you've seen some things. Unfortunately, we don't have a screen. So now I would like to present Timothy here. I was joking, there's one person, young person in this panel. But I feel somewhat connected. Through our children, we are connected also to the young. It's the same. It's a new generation coming up. So, Timothy would like to present YOUNGO and announce also his reporting on this session as well.
Thank you, Angelica. And it is good to have an intergenerational representation on the panel, because this is, of course, an intergenerational challenge. As Angelica said, my name is Timothy Damon. I was elected in Paris as one of the 2 new focal points for YOUNGO, which is the official youth constituency at the UNFCCC. I'll clarify that my comments today are my own and not on behalf of YOUNGO, but what I will present is based off of our work in Paris that is still ongoing. And in terms of reporting for this session, I would like to propose that we have the following structure. That for each of the questions, and we'll be covering 6 different questions that Miroslav will present for you, but that for each of these, as we're having our discussion, if participants would flag which number of questions, so that I'm taking notes and I want to, you'll help me to be able to capture your input and then organize this toward the end into our summary report. And I hope that that will give us a very useful, practical document so that we don't leave this room having, oh, that was a nice, fluffy discussion. There are lots of those that happen. They happen all over throughout these kinds of meetings. But we'll have something very tangible, and we will present that back to the closing plenary. And this is something that I would share back with YOUNGO, and we have a lot of projects, and it will really give us all something to work with. And also, I would like for you to frame in terms of challenges and solutions within each of those questions. So, you might say, this is a major barrier on this question, but here's an area where we could have a solution. Thank you so much. That will make my job as rapporteur a lot easier and will help us quickly come up with a productive document at the end.
Thank you very much. That's great, actually. And Miroslav is going to present questions.
Yes. So, as you've probably seen from the announcement of ECOSOC Youth Forum and the announcement of this breakout session, there is a concept note, so it's really an attempt to have a very structured discussion and really something that builds upon what has been done in this field in the previous months and years, and really build something up in the context of the SDG framework, especially also SDG 13, taking urgent climate action on climate change and its impacts, but also working, elaborating concrete input to the processes and events and decision-making activities in the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change process framework. And therefore, we have together the organizers and the members of the UN Framework Initiative on Children, Youth and Climate Change developed 6 questions for this breakout session. Question number 1 is, what can young people contribute to the successful implementation of Sustainable Development Goal 13, climate action? Question number 2, what tools and resources are needed for youth to implement climate action? Question number 3, how can we set up a youth-focused resource mobilization and multi-stakeholder engagement support mechanism for climate action and SDGs implementation? Question number 4, how can we engage a new generation of young global philanthropy leaders in climate action? How can we use, question number 5, how can we use the power of art, music and social media to engage young people? And question number 6, what recommendations do you have for youth to move forward in 2016 and beyond in the context of UNFCCC processes and events to create a sustainable and climate resilient future? So these are the questions, and we will ask the presenters who are already pre-announced and also the contributors to the discussion to really say which question their contribution is addressing, so that Tim will have his report nicely prepared. And so as regards the next steps here and the structure of the breakout session, Angelica will now start with this first round of pre-announced presentation and also presenting the work of UNDP Jeff Small Grants Program. And then we will also look on whether we have received contributions via social media, Twitter or Facebook, and that we include this as well. And then we will invite you to have additional presentations and responses to the questions. And then we will also have a round of where we will try to prioritize these different answers to these questions, and then helping Tim also with his report. And with this I give back to Angelica.
Well, first I wanted to ask, of course we'll have questions and discussions afterwards. Everybody is okay with this proposed course of action? The team proposed as a report, right? No objections. Okay, good. So then maybe I'll start what we kind of prepared. We participants also prepared our own suggestions for these questions that from our point of view. And I will start, and then my colleagues will continue, and then everybody will be able to contribute later on. So first I wanted to start. These are actually very interesting questions, and I gave it some thought. What I would like to say is not so much about challenges, but about how we more